Hey everybody, it's Steve from Wackadoo Brewing, and this is Wackadoo Unhinged, episode number 16. Today we are here with Shelby, right?
Yep.
Yay, I got it right. This has happened plenty of times.
He has a history.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. And as always with my co-host Denis and the Brew Squatch, a.k.a. Shaun. And today we're going to be talking about Wolf Dog. Is it Wolf Dog Sanctuary, Wolf Dog Foundation, Wolf Dog?
Yeah, so it's Mattersville. We're a wolf dog rescue, but we also do a lot of veteran support as well. And then we kind of are also a sanctuary, so when the wolf dogs that we get aren't very socialized and they do better, you know, in an outdoor setting with people consistently working on them, compared to like in a home, then they can stay forever, basically. So it's kind of like a little
Yeah, I wasn't
weird
sure
little
which
mix.
one it's
Yeah.
called. I know it's Wolf Dog. And that's-
Yep.
And today's episode is brought to you by the DAV, the Disabled Americans Veterans Organization that I got to go speak to with on Saturday. They gave me this wonderful water jug, and it's actually got my name on it and says guest speaker and all that. So I had to say thank you and like put their product out here. It's not actually their product, but it was really cool. To think,
Sure, there's water in that.
No, there's nothing in there. There has not been anything in there yet. So the beer's over here. But I wanted to just, thank you
We
guys.
don't have to hide our drinking here.
No,
Yeah.
that is one nice thing about it is
Yeah.
we don't have to hide that we're drinking. All right, so as far as the wolf dogs go, I know like different states have different laws.
Yes.
Because I spent some time up in Pennsylvania at the wolf sanctuary up there and absolutely loved it. Now, how does Colorado rate on that? Because it's like a 75-25 is the maximum legal.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to do like DNA percentages, but overall it does go by county. So I know that there's several counties in like the Fort Collins area that restricts or doesn't allow wolf dogs at all. Here in El Paso County, they do allow wolf dogs. They just have to have certain enclosures, so it is actually more of a by county thing.
Okay.
And that's kind of similar to just exotic animals in general.
Okay, so it's not statewide. It's
Nope.
every county has
Yep,
its own.
Every single county has a different thing.
That would be a pain.
Yes.
Especially if you were going from county to county.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes, I know.
Damn. So we're going to be having you in here in March. March 7th. March
Yep.
7th, we're going to have your event here. We're going to be doing a fundraiser here for you. We're going to get your beer made here soon. And we're going to, we decided we're going to do a nice brown. We got
Okay.
a really
I
good
like
recipe
that.
for it. We're going to tweak it a little bit to make it yours. So we're going to call it the Wolf Dog Brown. And,
I like it. Yep.
50 cents of every glass going to go directly to your foundation. And we're also hopefully going to raise some money here that day and raise some awareness so everybody gets to know more about what you do and what you guys
Yeah.
have going on out there.
Yeah, that's great. We've been around for about 5 years now, but we're kind of still unknown around this area. So it's great to, get out in the public and just talk about what we do.
Yeah, we get that a lot. A lot of the nonprofits we work with, that are the different organizations, people have never heard of them. And I think that's the hardest thing is getting your name out there.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're like, oh, well, I want to choose some advertising. Well, advertising costs money. I understand that the advertising leads to more money, but it's that hard up front, you know.
It's the visibility factor. It's like, how do you get your foundation to be more visible to the public without spending money, because if you spend money on like Instagram or anything like that and TikTok, you're not necessarily targeting the people that live nearby. And, funds and volunteers is really what we need right now.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, especially when you're first starting up,
Yeah.
is getting the money and then figuring out where best to put the money. And there's always a more urgent need than advertising.
Yes,
which
exactly.
makes it difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why my school got shut down was advertising.
Yeah.
Because I went to a pretty small, non-traditional private school. Like at the most there ever was student-wise, there was like 13 kids, and the main thing was advertising. And I was in Houston, and it just after like I think that last year, there was like a few years after I graduated, there's only like 4 kids in the whole school,
Oh
and
my
then they just
goodness.
shut down.
Yeah.
Just couldn't afford it. So yeah.
All right, so where are you located?
So we have 2 locations. We have our Sedalia location, and that's kind of like a half hour from Woodland Park. It's kind of a nice drive up 24. And then if you go down 24 the other way, are other properties in Yoder.
Okay.
So our Sedalia property is our established. That's where it all started. And then the Yoder we got just because there was a tragic fire
Yeah, I
on
remember
a property with wolf dogs. And since Mattersville kind of took over all the ownership of the Wolf Dogs, because originally they went to the Humane Society, just because they have to.
Yeah.
And emergency evacuations and stuff like that. Since Mattersville stepped in to take, ownership of all the Wolf Dogs, the family was super kind and donated the land to us. So that's how we ended up with the 2 properties.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So at the main location, how big is that?
I'm not completely sure on the acreage, but we have about 32 Wolf Dogs there right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 32 Wolf Dogs. We have about 6 residents, and then we have about 7 volunteers that come in and out. Yep. So it's fairly big, but our Yoder property is a lot bigger. We're at 76 Wolf Dogs right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we do have a couple residents. We have a couple volunteers, but that's really the space that we need a little bit more support in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so how can people get a hold of you if they want to come out and volunteer or if they
Yeah.
want to be able to donate?
I mean, you can just go on our website on mattersvillevets.org, and you can just fill out an application, and we should get back to you within 24 hours.
Okay, fantastic. That's a
It
good
does
turnaround
require
time.
1 day a week.
Yeah.
So it's not like super hefty, but we do still require that as like just to make sure people aren't signing up and then never coming and then
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
coming like once a year to like just spend
Yeah, it
time with
needs
the Wolf
some
Dogs.
form of commitment to it.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
form of commitment, exactly.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What you got? You looked like you had
Yeah,
something.
you guys have questions?
So you said half hour outside of Woodland Park. I'm trying to place it. There's the sign on the side of 24, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a rock sign.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, that is actually one of my favorite parts of that drive.
Yeah. Is the rock sign?
Yeah.
Or just in general. It's a beautiful
general
drive.
area.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like maybe like 2 miles ahead of the Decker's Corner Store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife and I actually took my sister out there like 4 or 5 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, come back. The tours are free.
Awesome.
Yep, and they happen every day at I believe 10 a.m. So.
Okay.
Yep, you can always come back.
Well, probably will at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a question about the like dealing with some of them and like training them. Like how different is that from like training even like some of these aggressive just normal dogs?
Yeah, I actually love that question. And my position in Mattersville is I am the director of enrichment and training. I'm a certified behavior consultant for canines. I've worked at HSPPR, the Humane Society here, as a behavior consultant for a couple years. I am certified in trauma-informed pet care. So this is really, like my kind of realm. And it is a lot different from training wolf dogs compared to training domestic dogs, because domestic dogs are pretty reliable on wanting to get social, interaction with you or treats. They're food motivated or they're social motivated. Where
They
wolf-
want to make you happy.
They want to make you happy. That is a big part of the domestication, especially like going from more work dogs to like in-home dogs, like companion dogs. Whereas wolf dogs are honestly kind of like training cats, because you don't have that consistent often. Like they're going to be like, I know you have a treat, but I just don't feel like I want to do that for that treat at this given moment,
Okay.
So it's a lot more repetitiveness and a lot more, of the opt-in, like cats, they're going to assess every situation where you're asking them to do something to see if it's worth their time to do it. Versus domesticated dogs, there's usually like a very instinctual thing that we've artificially selected them for thousands of years, is they instinctually want to get that social interaction with people, or they want to get treats, or they want something, they want to interact with you to achieve what you want them to achieve. Whereas wolf dogs, it's not as reliable as that. So it is a little bit tricky, but even though I worked with canines and I really, really love animal behavior in terms of canines, I'm actually a cat person, so it works really well for me. So I'm always going with the mentality that this is kind of more like a big cat dog than a domestic dog who is a little bit more feral,
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
A lot more personality, it sounds like.
They do have a lot more personality because they're more independent,
Yeah.
There's been studies that are really interesting that show, like, say, like, you put, like, a treat under the couch or something like that. A domesticated dog will try to get that treat a couple times, and then go to a person to ask for help. Where a wolf dog, it is going to be at it for days before it asks you help. Like they don't have that.
Goodbye couch.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Eat
So
the couch
goodbye
before it asks
couch.
for help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
right.
going to toss over that. If you even bolt down the couch, like in this hypothetical scenario, they'll give up and not ask for help. Like that's their end thing. Instead of domesticated dogs, they'll try a little bit and they'll be like, this doesn't seem to be working. Let me ask my like human person to help me out. So it's very interesting, kind of like the differences overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you are also a veteran.
I am, yes.
What did you do while you were in the military?
So I was in the military in the U.S. Army from 2011 until 2015. I did 1 year as a line medic. So that's, we were in the 1st MEB, so that was like a lot of field hospital work, but also we ran a clinic. And then I spent 3 years as a flight medic. So we were non-deployable because we did service the communities around us. So say like, if they're, because we were in Louisiana in Fort Polk, so they don't have a lot of air evac, capabilities, so that we would transport their civilians sometimes to like bigger hospitals as
Gotcha.
well.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I worked with the Rangers in Eglin. I've rappelled down there. I think all the Rangers were very confused seeing a girl come down at that point in time. I've had experiences where like I'm like doing the rope pull while I'm on the ground and the helicopter's up to like pull up the litter, and I've had like Rangers come up and try to take the rope. I'm like, you're not trained in this. Like, what are you thinking? So it was an interesting time, but I really enjoyed it. But I think 4 years was good for me, so I got out after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem. You missed you. Yeah, you joined just as I was getting ready to get out because I got out.
yeah.
I got out in the end of 2011.
Where were you stationed again?
I finished up at Fort Hood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Fort Hood's like one of those black holes.
Yes,
So
it is.
I went from Benning to Hood to Korea back to Hood.
Man, you're just...
Deployments. It was a drill sergeant at Jackson, then back to Hood,
Yeah.
back to Iraq, back to Hood, back to Iraq, back to Hood, and then I got out.
Jeez. Is
Yeah.
that like outside of Dallas?
More Killeen.
Yeah.
Okay.
45-minute. Dallas is like 2.5 hours north.
Oh, okay.
But the nice thing
Oh,
was though
more
from
central.
Hood because you were like 45 minutes from Austin, like an hour from Houston, 2.5 hours to Dallas, Fort Worth. So
Okay.
like you're kind of
Yeah,
right
right
there
in the
middle.
center of all three of those cities.
Yes. Just
Okay.
look for the biggest like dump desert, and that's where they put the base.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why the two bases in Texas for Army is El Paso, Fort Bliss, and then Fort Hood, which is down in the center. So just dumps.
Okay.
Because that's where they put all the bases.
I mean, isn't that why the U.S. military owns half of Nevada?
yeah, pretty much. You got Fort Huachuca out there, and there's another base out there too.
Basically the same thing they did in Fort Sill. Like just
Oh God, yeah.
yeah, find Nowheresville and put your big
Yeah.
base there.
Leonard Wood.
Lots and lots of empty terrain to test cool stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I mean they
right.
do artillery training in Fort Sill, so yeah.
Yeah, Fort Knox wasn't too bad though.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll give it that. That wasn't a bad place. You know, they had
Oh, yeah.
plenty of open terrain, but it was woods.
From what I've been told, as far as military bases go, location-wise, Fort Knox is pretty dope.
Yeah, it is.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And then you go out to California, NTC. What is it? Fort Irwin. Yeah,
Irwin. I
that's in the
forgot
middle of
about
a desert.
Irwin.
You know, they're all in just dumps. Fort Benning's pretty much on a giant red ant hill.
Well, you know, they have plenty of data on what artillery shells do to desert. Now
Yeah.
they need some data on what they do to trees.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the important stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I grew up from childhood listening to the tanks, the 105s practice on the ranges.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Yeah. I've
So,
listened to that a lot
what
too.
got you into working with Wolf Dogs?
Yeah, so at the time, I got linked up pretty quickly after it was established. Like I said, it was formally established, I believe, in 2020. And I was working at the shelter at the time in our behavior department. And we had 2 wolf dogs come in. And we can't legally adopt them out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sanctions, especially when it comes to like shelters adopting out wolf dogs compared to like wolf dog rescues adopting out wolf dogs. So we couldn't legally adopt them out. So my animal care manager at the time knew that I had previously worked with wolves before. I actually worked at the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center for about 3 years.
Okay.
Before I went to the shelter at all. So he knew I had that background. So he was like, we have these wolf dogs. There's a brand new rescue. we need to check it out physically before we send any dogs up there.
Yeah.
Which is just responsible, you
Yeah,
know?
it's just like checking out a home before you adopt
Yeah,
that animal.
exactly. So we went up there, just us two, and I started talking with Drew because I had just known it was a wolf dog rescue. And I started talking with Drew, who's the founder. Unfortunately, he can't be here today because there's a fire happening near one of our locations. But yeah, so I went up there and talked to Drew, and I started hearing that it is a wolf dog rescue, but it also has a dual mission of supporting veterans in like their transition.
Yes, and that's the big part of why we got you here today.
Yeah.
I was about to get into that.
Yeah. So, so me being prior military and then me also having prior experiences with wolves and dogs, it just seemed like a very natural fit. So I was there from 2020 until 2023. I didn't work between 2023 and 2025 just because my sister had gotten ill. But then I came back. I was working kind of intermittently because I was doing a lot of certification training. And then I came back officially last May and became a director, and I've really kind of just been running their enrichment training programs ever since. So it's been
That's
a whirlwind.
fantastic. Yeah. All right, so now how does this relate to working with veterans?
Yes. So there has been a lot of studies that show, like, I mean, you can see it. You know, a lot of veterans, they really benefit from emotional support dogs whenever they get out, or emotional support animals in general. So the basis of like the veteran support is offering veterans a place to come and just truly just spend time with the wolf dogs and have it kind of just like an animal therapy, you know? So veterans can come, they can sit in enclosure for, you know, a half hour, 2 hours if they want, and just kind of get the therapeutic benefits of just kind of being in the moment, and it kind of helps bring you out of your emotions and brings you to the present. It's kind of like touching grass, you know?
Yeah.
So it helps you just spending time with the animals. It really just helps you be in that moment and really be able to center yourself when you have a lot of emotions, especially getting out. That transition is brutal.
Yeah.
Just going from, it's just a whole completely different world. The expectations, and you know, there's another part of it that I don't think that gets addressed very often, is that when you're in the military, you feel important. You feel like you're a part of something. You feel like the work that you're doing is important. And then you kind of get out of the military, and it's kind of hard to feel like you matter, you know? Because the civilian world can be, you know, very fast-paced, very uncaring, very not appreciative of the skills that you have built just because they're in the military. So it works a lot for that. We also do have like residence spots open. Like I'm sure you noticed when I was talking about our different locations that we do have residents on site. We have tiny homes on our sites so that veterans, if they don't have any place to go when they get out, they can stay on property if they would like. And then anyone who is a resident, we do have a volunteer therapist, which is fabulous. And you're required to see her once a week for the first month at the very minimum. So it's kind of a really cool way of combining those two aspects of wolf dogs and veteran support.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I connected with pretty early on is with wolves. It's not like a dog. Like dogs look at you and there's a half vacant stare for the most part.
Well, they're always like, what's happening? What are we supposed to be doing, you know?
She was talking about the veterans hanging out with the wolf dogs, and I was going down the same way I think your brain's going down right now.
With wolves, there's a level of intellect and a level of just they're wild where it's not a complete and immediate submission and just, okay, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
They have their own life, their own thoughts.
100%.
And when you look a wolf in the eyes, there's something there looking back at you that I have seen more light in their eyes than I've seen in some humans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, when they look at you, there's a level of like communication there that I've never seen in anything else.
It's really remarkable because, like, I made that point of, like, the wolf dogs are kind of like cats. Is like, whenever you meet them, if they're choosing to come up to you and getting pets, like, that is a big decision that they made. Like, that was a decision they thought about. So you feel kind of, like, lucky to be in their presence and that they let you be able to interact with them, you know? So there's a a bigger amount of respect both ways, and that can be very healing.
Yeah, absolutely. I always thought that was really incredible with wolves. It's just like you said, it's a choice.
It is.
It's not like, or anybody can walk in this door with their dog, and that dog wants to be pet by everybody in the building.
Yeah. Or no one in the building.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
a wolf will stop and look at you, and
Yeah.
like they
They're
see
constantly
into you.
assessing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people don't realize how large wolves are. And you said
Yes.
you worked with wolves.
I do.
You are braver than I because you're looking them square in the face.
I'm only like 135 pounds too.
Yeah,
so
like-
some of them are honestly, they
Yeah,
do weigh
that's
more
your
than
weight,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, and just your height.
Yeah.
You're looking them square in the face if
Yeah.
they're not looking down at you. That's guts.
So the average weight for a female wolf or wolf dog is they're typically smaller. It's typically between 70 and 90. We do have a female wolf dog. Her name is Flopsy and Sedalia, and she's my heart. I love her so much. But she is clocking in about 140. Yeah. So the
Nice.
males, they typically go anywhere between 100 and 150. Yeah. So they're big.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the most important part is when you're thinking about like in terms, because I kind of get the same reaction because I'm small. Like you just have to see, I'm like not tiny, but I'm small compared to the animals I'm working with, right?
Yeah.
But I think that people think in terms of like, how do I handle them? Like, how do I like control them and stuff like that? When really it's truly about communication with them.
Yeah, especially with something that intelligent, you're not handling it.
Yeah.
You're coming to an agreement with
Yes,
it.
Yeah.
exactly. Yes, we're
You are
coming to an
bargaining
agreement.
with it.
Yes, be like, okay, like I take them out for walks all the time, and they know the agreement now because we have a routine where they know like if they start jumping on me and stuff, then I'm just going to turn around and put them back, and then we're going to try again later so that they
Yep.
start to understand that, and then they act nice because they want to stay out, So it's like kind of like a barter system with them
Yeah.
a lot more. Yeah.
I have a question too about how often extended. I remember from when I was there was multiple separate enclosures. Are there like some of them that just do not get along with each other?
Oh yeah. I mean, they're just like humans,
Okay.
And some of them are barrier reactive, so that means that if they're through a fence or a barrier, then they react to each other, and that doesn't equal aggression.
Okay.
That can mean, because you have to think in terms like wolves and wolf dogs, they're very territorial. So me walking a wolf dog near another wolf dog's enclosure, neither of them want that.
Okay.
The wolf dog I'm walking near that enclosure is like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You were just here, and I didn't mean to end up here. And the other dog is like, get away from my enclosure. But they also get along pretty well. Like,
Okay.
and just my personal experience, like looking at thousands and thousands of dog-to-dogs in a shelter setting with domesticated dogs, and then seeing dog introductions with wolf dogs, they generally have a lot better communication styles. So it's not like they're learning a new language because there's so many different, like a husky is going to react different like a chihuahua. Like they don't typically have the same communication styles because of how they're raised and genetics and everything like that. Where wolf dogs, they communicate much more on a level basis, so they know what each other is saying a lot more. If that makes sense.
Sure.
So
More instinct than raising.
yeah, it is. I mean, you can go back and forth all day, and that's like the epic behavior question.
That's the same with like nurture and nature with humans.
It's like one of the epic ones. Is like what actually has a bigger impact on their behaviors is their nature, which is genetics, or their nurture, which is their environment. In reality, they kind of both work together instead of being opposites. But so it's much more, I think it's just like they're just a lot more similar to each other than domestic dogs are typically similar to each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that with the wolf sanctuary where they had packs that would be together in the same, like 4 or 5 acre enclosure, but there was just some of them that could not be around him. Like, you ended up with the second alpha in the group, and bad things are going to happen. So they would eventually have to separate one. But for the most part, the packs work together and could live together fine.
And they just communicate. They're just kind of like family groups, you know? Like, some of them will move on and they don't want to go back and live with mom anymore, you know? Which I've seen before. We had at the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center, we did have like a mom and a daughter who did not not get along whatsoever, but they got along with other wolves there. So it was just like people, you know.
That's interesting,
right? Yeah.
I feel like I'm giving like a behavior science talk today.
No, absolutely. It's the BAU for wolf dogs.
I was actually about to ask another question about the behaviors of them. Like, so, like, I know, like, out in the wild, they have their whole pack hierarchy. Is that still like a thing, even in captivity, being like wolf dogs and stuff?
So I really cringe whenever I hear of anyone saying alpha.
Right.
Dr. Metchell, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Dr. Metch. He is the one that created the alpha concept.
Okay.
In like the 90s.
Yeah.
He did it. You seem like you're familiar a little bit with it.
He did the study on wolves in captivity, and then later on realized that he was wrong, and he retracted
and he spent
everything
the rest
about
of
it.
his life trying to say, no,
But it
alphas
caught
don't
on.
exist.
Yeah. Well, I know they did behaviorally in humans. I've got a master's in psychology.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't sure with wolves because they talk about alpha, betas, and omegas.
Yeah,
and-
so it's just so outdated because it's really just a family structure. And if you're doing in captivity, then you really just have to look at it as like a friend group instead of like one to the, like in a friend group, you will have somebody who's going to be more outspoken and some people who are out, but that doesn't mean that one has more power in the group, you know? The soft-spoken person might go around, but when they say something, it matters. So in captivity, it's much more, it's just a lot better scientifically to think of them as friend groups and see what the dynamics are in that group. And then in wild packs, it's just a family structure.
Yeah.
So the alphas are just the mom and dad, and sometimes they, call the shots, and sometimes they have like a son who's much better, so they let him call the shots. And then, if the siblings tend to stay around, like if they have a litter, and a lot of the litter tends to stay around because of resources or territory or just because they want to, then they have to share the raising of the next litter.
Yeah.
So it is much more like a family group in wild, and then in captivity because they don't have the free choice, They don't have.
Yeah, you're stuck with them.
Yeah, and
it's not like
it's
you
not
can
like
leave.
you can bring them into the drawing board and be like, "Here's who we have available. Like, who do you like? Like you actually have to physically test it out." But that they don't have that free choice. So
And then you have the angsty teenagers that go and split off and do their own thing.
Yes.
I don't know how
in
valid
wolf
it
dogs,
was.
it's cranky old ladies. That's really what it is. It's the older female wolf dogs that are like, I'm happy by myself. Like,
I remember seeing a thing. I don't know how true it is, but they were showing a couple of different packs that they were tracking, and then there was this one wolf that just said screw it and was wandering around in everybody else's territory.
Yeah.
And
that
just
happens.
chilling on his own.
Yeah. I mean, it happens in lions as well. Like anything that has like a
They have
family
personality.
Group. Yeah, they have personalities. They have free choice. Like they have their different ambitions in life, whether it's to stay and help raise the next litter just because it suits them better, or go off on their own like the lone wolf,
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right.
I see you guys have clickers out. That's really fun.
So, these are in case anybody says something that's a little too far, we might need it. So we've always had those, and some guests notice it and some guests don't. Most of the time we're good. We've only had to click it a couple times, and it's usually on him.
Hey, once or twice it's been on you.
I think it was y'all are both 1 for 1.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, right?
So it's one of those, hey,
You got an almost.
it might be a little too.
I think at this point it's less about saying something inappropriate and more about going a little too far down a tangent.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're walking with your dog and he starts trailing off somewhere, you're like, hey.
That's actually the exact opposite of what clickers are meant for, but go ahead.
It works for us.
Yeah, whatever works for you
So
guys.
we've got it programmed
I'm not
now.
in charge of human training over here. Let me just say that.
Yeah, we got treats.
Many
Yeah,
have
we got
tried.
treats.
And we got
all
clickers.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's been a couple times I've held it up and then he stopped. So I think he's learned. So it's that train behavior. This is the Pavlovian response right
it's
there.
associative learning. Did that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm old. Most of my stuff is like, Freud and some of the older people, and now there's a lot of new thoughts on things like, how do you take a doctor seriously who did a lot of cocaine and told people it was good for depression?
I mean, he had a good time.
Work
You got
for
ghosts in
him.
your blood. You should do cocaine about it.
He was very big on anal retention for some reason.
Absolutely.
Really, nowadays,
Yeah.
the only thing that's changed is now instead of coke, it's meth.
Right, yeah.
Or
Adderall.
Or ketamine is a big one.
ketamine.
Yeah.
Yeah, ketamine's a big one nowadays.
Let's give stuff for horses to a person. Yeah, no problem.
I mean, us humans have always tried out different things.
Well, absolutely. I mean,
We
it's
haven't
like
perished yet.
the first people figured out about psilocybin and which mushrooms they could eat, which mushrooms would kill them. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to see God or you want to die?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
I mean,
that
those
one,
could be the same thing, though.
It could be. Either way, you're gonna see God.
and that one killed Jeff instantly.
Good to
Okay,
know.
we won't eat that one. Let's try boiling it and give it to
Yeah.
somebody
Yes.
else. Yeah, make it into a
Who was
tea.
the first guy who thought, I'm going to eat the next thing that comes out of the backside of that chicken?
Right? Yeah. At what point do you stop and be like, "Hey, that looks edible"?
I think like eating
Cow
birds in
juice
general.
sounds good.
Like,
Right?
you see that over there? I want to eat that. It's got like a bunch of feathers and stuff on it. No, I'll do some shit to it.
Yeah, right. It's throw it on the fire. We'll pluck all the, and somehow that's good. What? Where did that become a thing?
Sometimes I just look down and I'm like, how do we get here? It's like
Right.
a human species.
So-
like,
3 things all civilizations in history have in common.
Language.
Some form of fried dough,
oh my gosh, I was getting very scientific about
Right.
it.
some form of bladed weapon, and some form of
Of
fermented grain
Libation.
alcohol.
Yes.
I was gonna say like some sort of medical protocol, like some
All right,
sort of
now,
communication.
but language. Yeah, language. You got to have
Yeah.
language. I mean, that's why I love that. And come to find out, for a long time,
That's-
I was quoting that
That's
it
kind
was.
of a prerequisite to civilization in general.
See, I thought it was the Greeks for a long time because I was quoting that for years. That they said that the best way to know if an idea is a really good one is to have a discussion sober
Yes.
and then have a
Yeah,
discussion.
they
And I thought it
100%
was
did
like the
that.
Greeks or something like that.
It was the Romans, yeah.
No, it wasn't even the Romans.
Oh.
It was the
Sumerians.
people that invaded 300 in the movie.
Persians?
The Persians.
Persians.
It was the Persians.
Oh,
I did
okay.
not know that. For years, I was
Little history
misquoting
nugget
it.
today.
I've looked it up, and it's actually the Persians that said that.
Yeah.
That a good idea has to be discussed sobered and then discussed drunk, and if you get the same result both times, then it was a good idea.
Yes,
There you go.
I know.
See, I always liked, I forget where it originally started, but it was the concept of the naysayer. If everybody in the room thinks a course of action is a good idea, it is the duty of one person to look at it and try their damnedest to find a flaw.
Absolutely. That's why I hate. And
Devil's
nowadays,
Yeah,
if somebody
I feel like I come across as pessimistic or a naysayer a lot, but that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing. I think that's the biggest problem with social media. Social media, you put out an idea,
an echo chamber.
Everybody,
Bingo.
Yeah.
constantly either. And if you don't agree with somebody else, you'll unfriend them. You'll leave hateful remarks and things like that. And I'm like, whoa. We do just because we disagree on something doesn't mean that was the end of the world. You know,
Yeah. Civil discourse.
absolutely.
That is what we need to
gone.
get back to.
That is gone.
I
I actually
enjoy
would take it a step
civil
further,
discourse.
and I think that in-person discourse needs
Yeah.
to be focused on more because social media. I mean, it's
Oh, I'm
Keyboard
with you.
warriors.
emptiness.
Oh.
Like,
Instead
I,
of
I'm
wild
with
as shit
you.
and
Yeah.
just
100%.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I honestly, half the time, even if you do, contribute to like a discussion, you don't even know if they're real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the
Could
point?
be
You're
an
just
AI, could
wasting
be a
your-
bot,
yeah.
it could be it's somebody just trying like trolls, purposely just trying to cause a problem.
Yeah, I think our technology should have just peaked in the 90s, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've hit that point where everybody talks about being more
Trolling is
smart,
fine as
being
long as
more
you're trolling the
connected.
right people.
But we haven't become more connected. We've become more disconnected.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree.
I straight up think AI is the end of culture.
Or
I think
Nintendo.
So too. I'm 110
Did you just say Nintendo?
anti-AI.
Nintendo
Whoa.
for years has been trying to get people to interact with each other
Oh, okay.
through the Pokemon games. If you look at it,
Yeah, but now they've got all this crap. where
all
you can
the
just
all
sit in
the
your
all
room.
the data
'cause the
link
creators died.
cables
Yeah.
and the Game Boys connect in person to trade Pokemon and
I miss
battle and
that.
everything.
Yeah.
They were trying
But you
for
need to be in person for that, at least.
generations
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying for generations to get people out and meet each other. And then finally, even with Pokemon Go, they originally, hey, you couldn't do anything unless you were right in front of a person.
Yes.
And finally, they just threw their hands up and gave up.
Yeah.
I can't say I
think
blame them.
COVID's when they did that, when they made it so you could just like hotspot somewhere and be somewhere else. And I was like,
Well,
no,
not
the whole
even.
point, you could go out there.
COVID is when Pokemon Go hit its
Okay, so it was only
stride.
like the last year then.
Yeah,
I know it just
was
recently.
after COVID that they did the you don't have to meet people anymore.
I'm not.
Which is
Remember, we used to do that.
bonkers.
There was meetup groups
Yeah.
downtown
Yeah.
Colorado Springs, going to all the different like the gyms where like 50 people would meet up, and you're
My
like,
mom would drive all over Radcliffe, going from group to group. All right, who's
wasn't-
throwing out the incense?
I wasn't even like I was a big gamer when I was growing up. Like I played the first Resident Evil, I played the first Silent Hill, I played all the big first ones in that era. But I was never a Pokemon person. The two things I do love is Pokemon movie. I've watched that probably like 20 times.
I
In
didn't
my
know
life.
there was a
one?
movie.
The
What?
first movie
Okay,
with Mew and Mewtwo.
okay,
The
okay.
best
We can be
one.
friends.
Yes.
I was gonna say I
I think
didn't.
that's the only one I've actually seen.
I've
It's so
never. I
good.
didn't know Pokemon.
Oh,
had
there's
movies.
like 5,
Oh
Yeah,
god.
the
Okay.
first movie,
and that's not even counting Detective Pikachu.
But also,
I still haven't seen
actually
that. And
got
that has Ryan
very
Reynolds
into
in it.
Pokemon Go as
I
well.
kind of want to see it just because I want to listen to Ryan Reynolds do something to this shit. I've got to. Okay.
I do remember when Pokemon Go came out. There was especially a bunch of people in Houston that got run over by the light rail because there was like Pokemon that was like right there on the light rail.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
that's
It's
why
super
every
quiet,
time we
too.
open the
That's another
app, it'd
problem.
say, "Hey, pay attention to what you're doing."
Yeah, they just walk out and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's scary. Well, there was the whole
gotta
thing about
catch 'em
the
all.
military base, wasn't there? Where they were banning it from being on the base because people would try to get on the base.
Oh yeah,
That tracks.
That doesn't surprise me
Yeah,
at
that
all.
tracks.
I remember that. There was a couple of them. I think one of
Like
them was
the
it for
dumbest
not,
reason ever
Looking
to
for
break
the
onto the
Pikachu.
military base.
I gotta catch this one. You know?
But at the same time, the one
That MP just
most
like,
likely,
what the fuck are you talking about?
yeah, the one most likely to get you released, though.
Right? And be like, I swear I was trying to catch them all. Okay. Anyways, wow, we went on a tangent on that one. Anyway,
Yeah, where'd the clicker go?
I know, right? Well, because it wasn't
kidding.
bad. It
If
wasn't,
you want to talk about tangents, I could have gone on a whole one about raccoons.
I love raccoons. They're my favorite animal.
So I saw a
Please,
thing
yeah.
recently that
They're
they're
trying to
they're
self-domesticate.
showing some signs of self-domestication.
Why
It's
not?
kind of. It's kind of, is it that or is it just wide scale habitualization, which is kind of bad?
I mean, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know?
It's, we're at the crossroads now of, in a few generations, we could have pet raccoons.
I know.
Oh, people have pet raccoons. I've seen some of the stupid
Well,
videos.
no, I mean, like, you could go to PetSmart and get you a raccoon.
I don't know in the next couple of years. Maybe the next couple of decades.
God.
Generations.
For that, yeah.
Generations.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that one.
Like, we're not going to
Yeah.
see it, but our great-great-grandchildren could possibly go to Walmart and pick up a pet raccoon.
Honestly, I think raccoons would make better pets than like sugar gliders, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're, for one, they're indestructible.
I mean, they can eat pretty much anything. they eat,
Exactly.
you know?
Sugar gliders are very, very
They're
delicate.
very sensitive.
Climate, diet.
They're much more exotic than people give them credit for. They're even nocturnal.
Yeah,
they
and-
require so many different
and there's
things.
a lot of bad shit that goes on in the natural ecosystem to support the
Yes,
pet market for that.
exactly. Raccoons are just here already.
We can source some raccoons,
Yeah.
no problem.
There's communities trying to get rid of their raccoons. I'm like, bring them in, you know?
Dude, I was traumatized by raccoons once, but
But you got over it, apparently.
yes,
Yeah.
a pet raccoon would be dope. I almost had a pet squirrel and a pet possum once, but my mother didn't love me.
So possums, I would
Kentucky,
love,
here
but
we-
they only live for like 3 years, and that would be so sad.
You'd have to constantly be getting new, and you go through that whole crisis, and then the death, and then another one, death, and another
I mean,
one.
at that
Yes,
point,
3
I'll
years
just
is
get
so short.
at that point just get licensed to be a
rehab.
wildlife rehab.
Yeah.
Well, see,
In
that's why-
Kentucky, it is stupid easy. My
That's why,
mom
like,
was
we've
this
got-
close to
we
doing
have a
it,
gen-
and if you knew my mom, you'd realize that's scary.
This is
Okay.
why we have a generational pet. So right now, Renee's parents have a tortoise.
Oh, I have a
They've already
tortoise,
had
too.
for like 30
Yeah.
years, and it's been willed to us, and it's going to live through us into Haley.
Yeah, my
who's-
tortoise
yeah.
is my will.
Yeah, this is going to be like a 3 or 4
I already had
generation
to clear it with
pet.
my daughter and
That's the way
everything.
you
Like
do
you
it.
have to,
Yeah.
because you're going to
They're
outlive
gonna
that
out-
tortoise.
yeah, they're-
Remind me to
I mean,
look up
yeah.
the name of it. The turtle. it took them quite a while. They only recently were able to figure out how old it
Oh
was.
yeah, he's 191, the world's oldest land animal right now.
Yeah, because
And, yeah,
he
it's
outlived,
a
he
his
outlived
name-
his
his name's
first
like- his
three
name's like
keepers.
Joseph or something. Well,
So they were having trouble
dying.
pinning
Oh,
down.
okay.
Yeah.
The alligator
Oh,
sample.
okay.
So
They
they-
were having trouble
yeah.
pinning down exactly how old he was.
Yeah, he was born in like 1832.
I mean, honestly, though, credit to literally generations of good owners.
Yeah, that he's
Yes.
still around.
Yes.
Yeah, and what's funny is he's still having babies. Like,
Oh, they-
he's
yeah,
he's
they
still
give birth
mating.
until- there's only-
191 years old, still mating.
There's
Didn't
only
they
4,
recently move him back home? Because he was somewhere off the coast of Africa.
Yeah.
And they just recently is
They
like,
brought him back to,
okay,
like, San Diego or
we're
something
gonna,
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna send
Yeah.
him back home
Yeah.
to repopulate.
Yeah, he's still going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only 4 animals that actually hit menopause, and it's the grandmother theory. It's us, orcas, elephants, and gorillas. That's it.
The rest of them can just.
I did not know that.
The rest
but
of them can
I knew
reproduce
the
all
orcas.
up until they are
is-
done.
We're actually
That's actually
a
the
lot
first
alike.
one.
That's
See,
just crazy.
I
yeah.
First
knew
one we
those
found out.
animals all were very matriarchal, and like the grandmother would play a role
Yeah.
in the offspring. I did not know that they all went through menopause. I did.
Yeah, it's a very, very select group. It's only mammals, and those are the only 4 that we've found out in the world.
Yeah, and there's
but
like-
fun fact, there's been more studies on orca menopause than there is female human menopause.
Because why not? Well, there's
'Cause
also
why not, yeah.
that's something to think about though, because that's also 3 of the same animals that commit murder: humans,
Well,
orcas, and
dolphins do,
dolphins.
too.
Yeah, dolphins,
Dolphins,
and
I
gorillas.
don't, to my knowledge, dolphins don't experience
It's
menopause.
yeah, okay, it's one of
But
them.
dolphins are wild. we don't even need to
they
bring
perform
them to the
another
table.
felony. We're not
Yeah,
allowed to
we
say
don't-
on
yeah,
YouTube.
we-
I
they're
wasn't
not
gonna-
ducks,
everything.
they're not-
I wasn't
not
gonna
fun
go
topics.
there, but
Chimpanzees, though, chimpanzees,
They will
if
actually
I remember,
war.
yeah, they
Yeah.
are the only ones that have been observed practicing organized warfare.
yep, yeah, I saw that one where they will actually
I thought baboons did, too.
they'll patrol. Well, yeah, no, baboons will fight and kill each other.
Baboons will get into
But
like pack fights
chimpanzees will border patrol and
and
will
set up like ambushes.
and ambush.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see where they're actually the ones strategizing.
Yeah,
Oh,
not,
yeah.
not just a whole group
Not
murdering
just saying,
something.
We're
Yeah,
fighting.
it's not
No, no.
Group A comes across Group B. We're gonna fight it out and then
No,
run
no,
away.
they
That's
like
interesting.
coordinated
Hey, yeah.
We
assault.
want what they have, so we're gonna move in on the flanks,
like flanks
pincher
and
stuff.
maneuver,
Yeah.
and wipe them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, I'm not on the board of that we're most like chimpanzees. I'm actually on the board that we're most like bonobos. We're
Oh, yeah.
equally related to both, but I think that our social patterns and just like how we structure our society is much more in tune with bonobos than is chimpanzees.
Yeah, no,
Like with
I think
most
I'm down
things,
with
we
I
actually
think
share
it's
a
I
common
think
ancestor
it's
with them,
I
too.
think it's that middle ground between we have
yeah.
some from
Oh,
column
yeah.
A and
we're,
column B.
I mean, we're not
Yeah.
direct descendants of either of
No.
them. We're
Yeah.
just related.
I think it's like a common ancestor that we share with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. All the
we have
great
a
apes.
we have a common ancestry more with fungus than we do with any other animal on the planet.
Sorry, what?
Fungus.
You have to run that by me again. What?
Yeah.
Is it that, or is it that fungus is so a spectrum?
We haven't
I mean,
even really
that could be, but that's like
You
like
can
the,
relate so
the
many
latest thing
fungus,
genetically.
so.
We're closer to certain funguses and mushrooms
Okay,
than we
certain
are
ones,
with
I can
yeah,
see that.
yeah.
I'm just saying, if you know anything
just
about
such a
fungus,
spread.
the show The Last of Us is terrifying.
Oh yeah, cordyceps. Yeah. There's people that just eat that shit too.
Right.
What?
Don't
Yeah, I
don't,
see a bunch of ads for mushroom stuff, and it's like this
Oh
mushroom
well,
mixes.
mushrooms. Yeah,
Cordyceps is
Mushroom,
mushroom.
mushroom.
I thought you were talking about cordyceps specifically.
It is also cordyceps specifically, but it's like mixed in with a bunch of these other mushrooms.
So you know,
Like one of them,
that's
they
just-
called
look
out
what
one of
you
them was
started.
cordyceps. I was
I
like,
know.
so all you have to get The Last of
I'm
Us started.
enjoying it though.
We
Like
went
I said,
from
I study animal
we went from
behavior.
raccoons to
zombies.
mushroom zombies.
Yes,
Yeah.
mushroom zombies.
Started with wolf dogs and veterans.
This is
Mushroom
but
zombies.
this is why we
Left 4
call
Dead?
it unhinged.
So, anyways, from
Before you
good point. Before we get any worse, from all of us here at Wackadoo, we want to thank you guys very much for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. And thank you, Shelby, so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank
we
you.
can't wait until March 7th for your event. This is
Yeah.
going to be amazing, and hopefully we're going to have a couple. She knew about the raccoons. So this is why we're going to stop it here. So, dear God, remember everybody, don't just do it.
Wackadoo it.